Welcome back to Keen Plays. Today I'm going to be looking at this game here, Magic 8 Ball Magical Encounters board game. I just recently picked this up at Value Village, got it for $7, and I saw it online on Amazon for $28. So pretty good deal, especially since it only came out in 2022, so still a pretty new game. I did look it up on Board Game Geek though, and it's got a 5.8 out of 10, which really isn't that good of a rating. It's pretty bad actually. But it only had 24 ratings, so I don't know. I'm hoping that just because it's new or whatever, there just hasn't been that many people that have played it. I think it's also more of a kid's game, so I don't know. Maybe it just got some harsh critiques. But what's pretty awesome is that it's like brand new, like still sealed. And so yeah, brand new game at Value Village for $7. Hasn't even been opened yet. That's pretty awesome. Don't really know too much about it, but you obviously use the Magic 8 Ball in some sort of way in the game, which I always really liked messing around with the Magic 8 Ball when I was a kid. Yeah, so everything is still, oh man, that's not good. I had to tape it in there. Yeah, I just ripped it. Oh well, that's too bad. Let's see. It is decidedly so. And what do we got here? We got our pieces. Oh, these are kind of nice actually. Five different characters, and this is like kind of like a rubbery feel to it. It's pretty nice. And then a dice. Got a couple different numbers on each side. Let's see. Cards feel pretty good. Couple of reference cards, and then three wild boars are arguing over the last apple. What do you say to them? Who's hungrier, or let's split into three? These are all just like decisions. Interesting. This packaging is interesting. Like, I don't think I've ever seen them wrapped up like this. Like paper. Kind of strange. Pieces, tokens. Okay. And then the rule book here. This is all like thick paper too. And finally the actual board. It's pretty small for how much is going on here. Like it looks like a lot, although I'm sure it's pretty simple. But yeah, kind of a small board for just how much spaces there are to be like moving on. Yeah, okay, well I'm going to look into this and then maybe we'll do some gameplay or something. Check it out. But so far it looks pretty cool. Is it going to be a good game? Signs point to yes. There you have it. Here is the game all set up. I will say that it is a really good looking game. These characters are really nice. I actually do really like how they look and how they feel. The one thing though is that this is like quite a small board. I wish it was like twice as big, honestly, because there's a lot going on and a lot to look at. But other than that, it is a really good looking, cute style, and it's a pretty simple game overall. It takes a little bit of looking back at the rules on your first playthrough, but in general, it is just a kid's game basically. And the way that it works is you are traveling around this map here, going into these different areas, and you're collecting these stars. And you're trying to find these crystals here and take them and put them into these watchtowers around this kingdom. I think like the storyline is that there was like 4 crystals in these watchtowers and somehow they got lost, and then this Gadworm, the dragon, escaped and he's wreaking havoc on the kingdom. And so you guys have to, find these crystals, put them back, and then that will seal away the dragon once again. Something along those lines. don't quote me. It's something like that though. That's basically it. You're traveling along, opening up these gates so that you can go in and collect these stars. And along the way, you are asking the mystical magic 8-ball questions along your journey. So the setup is just shuffling up these encounter cards, putting out all of these stars kind of shuffled up so you don't know where everything is, and then just having these treasures up here. And for however many players are playing, you will put the heart on that level. So 4 players, you have 4 lives, and Gadworm's dragon starts over here. Every time that a crystal is revealed, this will move up, and that adds to his movement speed. And the way that that works is on your turn, you're going to roll this dice here, and as you'll notice, there is 2 numbers, 1 white, 1 blue, or sometimes yellow. And the white is your movement speed, and so you can move 2 spaces on that one, and Gadworm will move 3. And blue is for whenever he comes to a fork in the road. And so if it's blue, he will always move in the blue direction. So he goes 1, 2, another fork, 3. And meanwhile, this guy landed here, and he can try and open this gate up by asking the magic 8-ball. And you'll just ask it, can I open this door, basically? And you do what it says. So it is decidedly so. So the door opens, and now it's free for all of your teammates to go in there and collect those stars. If it would have been a neutral or a negative result, then the door remains locked, and you can choose to stay there next turn and ask again to see if it'll open. And then next, if you are on any of these spaces here, any space that isn't a star or a watchtower space is basically an encounter space, which means the person to your left will pick up a card for you, and they will ask you the question on here. Scout the baby badger lost his pet rock. How do you help? And they'll give you the options, so you either look for the pet rock or paint a new pet for them. So you choose, then you'll ask the magic 8-ball. And in this case, it says reply hazy, try again. So that is a neutral result. So let's say that I help them look for the pet rock. Then I would get this result here, which is daisies, and it kind of gives you the details on all of this, but the daisies just means that you would get sent wherever it is on the board. So right here is the daisy, so you would get sent over here to the gnome's garden. if you would have chosen to, paint them a new pet for them, and and the answer that was given was that neutral, then you would have picked up a treasure. And these treasure tiles all have their different abilities on them. This one, you could play it and choose for Gadworm which direction he needs to go, either blue or yellow. And there's a lot of different variations of those. This one gives you a life, obviously. Oh, another one of those. Yeah, lots of different varieties. This one freezes his movement. Yeah. So there's a lot of little things like that that make this game pretty neat. And I didn't realize when I first played this how often you're going to be shaking up this ball and asking the Magic 8 Ball questions. Because basically, every turn, unless you land on a star space, you are going to be given these encounter cards, and you choose what you are doing, and then you're asking the Magic 8 Ball if you're able to do it. You're using it way more often than I ever would have thought, which is cool, but it also takes time, to do those encounters almost every turn. But this is Magic 8 Ball, the game, so it kind of has to revolve around the Magic 8 Ball. So it does make sense. But yeah, you will just keep going. So move 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. In this case, we just pick up this star, and it goes in front of you. And these also give you abilities. This one would make you invisible to Gadworm for 1 turn. And then Gadworm moves 3. And he's just going to keep going around the board in a clockwise direction. But it is surprising how much more difficult it gets as you start uncovering these crystals. And his movement speed just keeps increasing. And he starts ripping around the board, especially if a yellow gets chosen, because then that means that he's going to be taking the shorter routes. And then he really starts going around the board a lot faster, and he's able to actually catch up to you. Start of the game, it's pretty simple to stay away from him. But if he does catch you, then you'll be sent to his lair over here, and then you lose a life. And you lose the game if you lose all of your lives, and it goes down to 0 here. And the way that you win is by getting these crystals, get onto a space of a watchtower, and then ask the Magic 8 Ball if you can put it there. If it's a yes, then you can put it there. And as soon as you get all 4 there, you win the game. You can also only carry, each person can only carry 1 of these crystals at a time. So it makes it a little bit more difficult. And if you get to a watchtower and it says no, or it's a neutral answer, then you actually have to leave this watchtower, go to a different one, and try there instead of just, wait there until next turn. You actually have to go to a different one. That is basically the game. I don't think that I've really missed anything. Like I said, it's a pretty simple game. Obviously just a kid's game, but I like it. It's a good cooperative game. I think when you're first starting out getting into board games as a kid, it's nice to have a game where you aren't being, so competitive. I know when I was a kid, I was extra competitive in board games, and I definitely flipped a few Monopoly boards back in my day. So yeah, it's kind of nice to see a kids game that is a cooperative game, and it's a good game for adults too. Like I would definitely play different games rather than this if I was playing with adults. But if you're playing with kids, this is a great game to play with them, and it's not going to bore you out of your mind. So I'm actually really glad that I found this. I think this was a great pickup, especially getting it at Value Village for so cheap. only $7. Like, that is a steal of a deal for sure. But let me know what you guys think. If you guys have any questions, be sure to let me know. Have you guys played this game at all? What are your thoughts on it? Let me know down in the comments. And feel free to like this video or subscribe to my channel. That would be awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. See ya.